Hello everyone. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, good evening everyone. Just write your name in the chat box. Okay, so in the last class, what the topic we have seen? We have started with data abstraction, right? The last principle in object-oriented programming language. So one more time, I'm repeating the concept, whatever we have covered in the last class. So please observe one more time. Guys, what is meant by data abstraction? Okay, be on mute, please. Once you join the session, just check your mic and be on mute. Okay. What is data abstraction? It is a process where we can hide internal mechanism of the software application, right? And we can provide relevant information to the user. So data abstraction, it is actually used for information hiding. And how many ways are available in Java to do this kind of information hiding? There are two ways. Either you can follow abstract class. See, either you can follow abstract class or you can follow what? Interface, right? So abstract class is what? It is a class which we can represent with the abstract keyword. And this class can have both type of method, abstract method and I will say implemented method. And that is the reason, this class is not considered as a 100%, implemented class, and we can't create an object of such a class. So whenever you have any method in the abstract class, to call that method, obviously we require child class. And through the child class only we can call that method. But Java says every child class have a rule. What is that rule? Every child class has to implement all the non-implemented method from that abstract class. Correct? And that is the reason whatever non-implemented method will be there, that we can implement through the child class and we can use it. But what is the relation in abstract class and any child class? Whenever two classes are there, what is the relation? Relation we can maintain with which keyword? Extends keyword, yes or no? Now
Yes.
when you talk about interface, so in the last class, if you observe, I have declared one abstract class. I have created one implemented method. This is accept method. I have created one non-implemented method, which is called abstract. And see the format, how to write the abstract method. Public, abstract, void, and show. Right? This is I have written abstract method. Obviously, we can't create an object of abstract class, and that is the reason we can create a child class. If you just focus on hierarchy, see, then I have created this test abstract as a child class. And here I have to implement which method? Obviously, show method. So you can see after main method, we have implemented the show method, correct? And then in the abstraction, only two scenarios are valid. So in the abstraction, you can create child class reference, child class object. You guys are able to access all the individual method, all the inherited method, all the inherited abstract method also, correct? If you create parent class reference, child class object, you guys are able to call everything from that parent. And that is the reason we can call inherited accept method also plus show method also, which is overridden method, correct? So this part we have covered. Today, we need to understand what is interface. So this document I have already shared in the email. Yes or no? See, so what is interface now? Interface in Java, it is a blueprint of a class. Basically, guys, it is a very special, I can say, class, right? Technical term mein what we can call, like interface is a very special class. It has some data. Every data, whatever data you will maintain, that data is always final data and static data. Remember. And every method, every method, it is abstract method only. Every method is what? It is by default, I will say abstract method. So you don't need to maintain abstract keyword for a method because by default it is abstract only. So what is interface? It is a special class. This class can have data which is always final and static. What is the rule for final? Remember, whenever any data is a final, you cannot change value of that data and it is always static. Okay. So constant information you can access through the interface. And whatever method you will design in the interface, that is by default abstract one. So example, if I want to design an interface, how we can design it? See, we can directly write a code. So if you just focus here, okay, just let me open that option. Just a minute. I have already written, the syntax and everything for that. Let me just show you. So yeah, here we are learning this object-oriented principles. Just observe. So we have already covered this rest of the topics. Now let me show you interface. Yeah, what is interface? See, interface is a special kind of class which contain what? Which contains simple variables, right? This variable part. And it cannot be changed. It contains method declaration only and not method body. That means abstract method only. See here. And how you can write an interface? See, interface you have to write with the interface keyword. जैसे आपने abstract keyword define किया था, right? To declare a class. Similarly, we can write a separate interface keyword to declare interface. So guys, in Eclipse, you will get this option automatically. Just see. So if you just go to this package, in the same package, I will right click and I will create an interface. So you can see once you go to new, you will able to see here a separate option is available, interface. Just click on interface. Here you can provide a name for your interface. So now we need to understand how we can declare an interface. Before this, I can just give a name. Let me just show you. This is a temporary interface, or let me just give a name like a bank. Okay, this is just a bank interface. And just observe. Suppose I declare this as a bank interface. What will happen? In this interface, okay, you just need to write public interface and bank. And in this interface, you can maintain some method, correct? I can maintain some data also. Example, integer x. I'm just maintaining some data. Example, 100. Okay. By default, this data will be final. By default, this data will be static. Remember. Then, if you want to design a method, you can design in this way now. See, now we are taking scenario for a bank. So let's design few method which is related to banking, obviously. So example, I'm just writing here public void and let's say withdraw, right? I just want to define here a withdraw method. So guys, consider this is my withdraw method. So can I design a body for that method? No. Whenever you are creating interface, by default, every method is what? Abstract method. So that means abstract method is a method which doesn't contain any kind of body, right? We should not have any body. Only declaration part you can write along with semicolon. Even though if you just observe a difference in the abstract class, you just need to write abstract keyword and then we can declare class also abstract. But interface is a special keyword, or I can say special class. And that is the reason you don't need to maintain here any abstract keyword. You can directly write a method name because by default, this method will be considered as a abstract method. So first point is clear. So this time I can maintain withdraw method here. Okay. Suppose I want to maintain one more. Let's say public void and I'm just going to write, let's say deposit. Okay. Deposit method. This time, let me again apply semicolon at the end. Consider in my bank interface, I'm having withdraw, I'm having deposit. Let me declare one more. See the public void and I will be just writing suppose rate of interest. Okay, rate of interest. Right, this is my method name. Done. So what exactly we just need to implement? We need to understand relation between interface and the class. So guys, suppose this time in the bank example, I have created an interface of a bank. In this interface, this is my special class, right? I have declared few methods like I have declared withdraw method. I have declared deposit method. Along with that, I have declared rate of interest method. Done. 3 methods I have designed here. Now, what is the rule? So this is my special class. But if you want to use this, let's say tomorrow, any other bank wants to access these 3 methods. How the bank will access these 3 methods? Obviously, that suppose HDFC is a bank and HDFC wants to access all these 3 bank methods. Consider this is a RBI bank now, right? We have a RBI bank and every bank has to follow the rule of RBI, Reserve Bank of India, correct? So this time, if HDFC wants to, implement or, wants to use all these three methods, but these three are abstract one, right? So HDFC is a normal class. So every child class, if this is a child class for a bank, then every child class has to implement, remember, implements all the method of the parent. Because this time, what is the relation? Bank will become a parent, HDFC will become a child, remember. So what is the rule in Java? Every child class has to implement all the method from the bank, right? Or all the method from the interface. If tomorrow you are having one more child, let's say there is a one more bank coming, right? Axis Bank, suppose. And Axis Bank want to again access all the properties of Reserve Bank of India. What the Axis Bank has to do? Obviously, again Axis Bank will become a child class. So Axis Bank has to follow all the rule which is defined by the RBI. Can I say that? All three method it has to implement. So understand relation. Whenever two classes are there, suppose these two classes are there, then relation will be extends. But whenever one is a special class, nothing but interface, and another one is normal, child class, in that case, relation will be represented with which keyword? Implements keyword. Okay, this is the point you need to understand. So fine, I have declared this interface now, right? What I can do? I can create a other classes. Let's see. I'm going to design first class, which is HDFC. Understand the concept, everybody. Okay. Now this is a HDFC class. HDFC class can have its own method, right? Independent method or individual method. Yes. Can I write here, suppose public void and let's say customer details, right? HDFC is having what? Customer details. Okay. And here I'm just going to write one simple message that these are the details of HDFC. Okay. This is having what? Simple customer. Let me just write details. Done. This is what? A particular method which is coming from HDFC. Okay. Let me write properly. Done. Okay. And okay, I have just written HDF now. Let me just refactor it. So you will understand a proper example. Let me write HDFC. Okay, you can rename in this way. Okay. Suppose sometimes if you miss anything to add in the class, in this way you can rename. Okay, now you can see my class name is HDFC. And this HDFC having its individual method, that is customer detail. But HDFC has to follow rule, whatever it is defined by the RBI bank, right? So what we are going to do, we can just write here which keyword now. See, the bank is an interface and this is just a class. So interface method, every class or every child class has to implement. Correct. So you are just going to write, okay, be on mute. You are just going to write implements method. Remember, implements keyword. Implements what? I will just write bank. Just give a bank name. But see immediately what is happening. Once you provide this relation, just observe you are getting some error. Okay, below that HDFC. Why? Because there is a rule. If interface you are implementing, that means all the method of the interface the child class has to implement. What this mean? So if you just keep your mouse pointer here, see it's saying that, or Java says that type HDFC must implement the inherited abstract method bank.rate of interest, and not only rate of interest. If you just implement rate of interest, it will give you one more time error. It will ask you to implement withdraw method, deposit method. So what we can do, we are having a direct option. Either you can write a manual code or you are having a direct option. Here you can just write add unimplemented method. See, I can just add unimplemented method. So what is happening? Here you can access withdraw, deposit, rate of interest, right? All these are overridden now. See why these methods are overridden? Because bank is a parent, HDFC is a child. And parent and child, if both having same name method, then child method, it will be considered as a overridden method. The child will always override parent method. Remember, correct? So you are getting this kind of three methods here now. Now what we can do? Obviously, we can just implement this method. That means I'm just writing some messages to understand the concept. Okay. Now this is implemented by HDFC. So I'm just writing HDFC what? It is a withdraw method. Let me just define. Okay. It is a withdraw method. Done. Now here, I just want to define. It is a deposit method. Again, it is implemented by whom? HDFC class only. So I'm just writing here what? It is a deposit method. Done. Then rate of interest. See, the bank can obviously access the method and they can define, the rate of interest according to their rule. Suppose I'm writing here one random rate of interest. Example, the rate of interest is what? Let me write rate of interest. Okay, is let's say 8 point or 8%, whatever it is. So I'm just giving HDFC is providing rate of interest, suppose 8%, right? So this time what will happen? I have designed interface. I have designed one child class. Now let me create one more. That is a test HDFC or test bank class. Everybody focus. This is my test bank class. In this class, I'm going to use main method. Now here we need to understand relation. So guys, one more time focus. I have just created, let me remove all the previous classes. I have just created one bank interface, which is a special class. Interface can only provide a method, like it is like a kind, something like this, like this class is responsible to provide only services and the other classes has to use these services, has to implement it by their own way, right? So HDFC is using all these services, correct? And HDFC is going to implement it also. Then tomorrow, any customer, let's see test bank. So any customer comes to the HDFC, what the customer can access now? How many services customer can access it this time? So here you need to understand again scenarios. Do you remember? We have discussed about scenario, like first scenario which is valid in interface and actually in data abstraction. Okay, it is common for data abstraction, that means abstract class as well as interface. What is scenario number 1? See, suppose if I create child class reference, okay, and let me write and child class object. Can you tell me how many method we can access with this scenario?
Implemented method.
Implemented method. That means all method from child and
All
parent?
methods.
Yes.
Okay, all method, right? So who is the child class here? HDFC. Everybody focus. HDFC. I'm just creating suppose H1 new. Again HDFC constructor. So with the H1, I can call all the method from child class as well as from parent class. But parent method has already overridden by the child. So you will get all the implemented method from the child class. Example H1 dot C. I can call customer detail. What type of method it is? This is individual method, correct? Yes or no? H1 dot. Then I can call C. I can call deposit method. Then H1 dot. I can call this withdraw method. Yes. H1 dot. I can call that rate of interest method also. If you run this code, see the result. Through the interface, whatever child has implemented, everything customer can access now, right? So HDFC Bank customer can access these many things. Now there is a one more scenario which is valid that you can also follow. Example, let me just separate out this part. So this is the first task. Second valid scenario will be what? See, scenario 2, where you can create parent class reference guys. Okay. And you can create child class object. Okay. Interface, which contain only abstract method. So can we consider interface as a implemented class, fully implemented class? No, right? We cannot consider as an interface as a fully implemented class. So you cannot create object for interface. Remember. So parent class reference, I can create child class object, but not parent class object. Okay, I will show you that scenario also. So this time I'm having a parent class that is bank. Okay, bank. Let's say B1 is equal to new. And who is a child class? HDFC. Now tell me, with this scenario, how many method you can access?
Override method.
Okay, so method from parent or child?
Child.
Parent.
Parent.
Method from parent only. Remember, not from child. Who said child? Focus. Parent class reference, always call parent class method only. But the point is, okay, why you are saying child? Let me just tell you. Point is, parent class has only non-implemented method and it is already implemented by the child. So by default, you will get access from the parent. But parent method has implemented by child, so you will get result in the form of child. Okay, but answer properly. So parent class reference, parent class or child class object, you can call everything from parent only. But see, parent is already overridden method, no? So you can see, if you are calling deposit, please observe here. Deposit you are getting from the bank only. That means we are calling method from parent only. But when you run it, what will happen? Because of child class object, it will just provide you all the implemented method by child. So overridden answer you will get. Correct? So let's see. B1 dot, I can call withdraw. Let me call one more time. See, I can call withdraw. B1 dot, I can call one more method, that is rate of interest. Done. So all these are what? Inherited, I will say abstract method. Okay. This time, if you run the code, see you are getting again messages HDFC deposit, withdraw and rate of interest. So the point is clear, everybody. What is the rule for interface? Let me show you. If you try for this scenario, what will happen? See, just focus. Third scenario and the fourth scenario, which is not valid. Parent class reference and parent class object is not valid here. Why? Because interface, for interface, you cannot create object. Okay, because interface is not considered as a fully implemented class. So here, if you try parent class reference and parent class object, which is completely invalid. Please focus. Suppose I'm writing here bank, right? Bank is a parent. B2 is equal to new. Again, I'm writing bank. Please observe, immediately you will get an error here. This is a compile time error. Cannot instantiate type bank. Are you getting my point? तो इंटरफेस का कभी भी हम ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट नहीं कर सकते and that is the reason this scenario is invalid. Fourth scenario is already invalid now. Yes or no? Fourth scenario is already invalid. With a child, you cannot hold any parent. So child class reference, parent class object, not possible. Correct? So please understand the concept of inheritance along with this interface concept, right? Here also we can relate the two classes together, but relation will be implement relation. Suppose tomorrow, let's say, let me just design this particular format, Axis Bank. What will happen? Tomorrow, Axis Bank, again wants to implement the methods which are defined by the parent, that is interface. Let's see. I'm just giving a random name, okay? Axis Bank. So let me just write Axis Bank. And tomorrow, Axis Bank also want to implement all the method from bank. What the statement we have to write here? Which keyword? Again, implements. Correct. Implements what? Bank. So obviously the rule, again, what the Java says, now this time Axis Bank will become child class. Okay. Axis Bank will become child class for bank. So here the rule is Axis Bank has to implement all the method from the bank. So you can directly keep your mouse pointer. You can unimplement all the method, right? And this time, obviously again the same part, you can just update it. So you will get all the method which are abstract, or I can say overridden method, correct? So here I will be writing access. This is a withdraw facility. So let me just design withdraw facility. Now this time Axis Bank is providing what? Let me just copy. See, Axis Bank is providing this deposit facility. Done. And here Axis Bank is giving you rate of interest. That's it. This time I'm writing a message. So rate of interest is, let's say, 7.5%, maybe like random number only I'm writing here. Okay, done. Again, Axis Bank may have its own method also. Okay, there is no such a restriction. So tomorrow, suppose Axis Bank have its own method. Let's say again, this is again public void and some customer details. Okay, customer details. And this time, please observe, suppose customer details, this is for Axis Bank. Okay. So I'm just going to write here, this is for Axis Bank, Axis customer detail. Okay, done. What will happen if you go to the test bank, class? This time in the same scenario, child class reference, child class object. Can I design for Axis Bank? Yes. Let's see. This time Axis Bank will be considered as a child for bank. So what I can write here, I can just write, okay, fine. Axis, let's say A1 is equal to new, again Axis. Yes, everybody, clear? And the constructor of that class. So using A1, we can call all the method, right? So I can call A1 dot this customer detail, which is individual method of that particular Axis Bank. Again, A1 dot all the same deposit method I can access. A1 dot withdraw method I can access. A1 dot rate of interest also I can access. If you run the code, everything you will get from what? Again, Axis Bank. So you can see. Here you can see the detail. Yes, I'm getting result of the Axis Bank only. Correct? So these are the scenarios, like what we can access from that particular class. You need to understand this part, right? Now again the same. Here also I can create a same now. So parent is who? Like bank is a parent only. So I can write, okay, fine, bank, let's say B3 is equal to new. And the object of this time, access. So this time also you will get all the access of a parent method, but all the overridden answer you will see. Hai? So B3 dot what? I can call again deposit. Okay, just a minute. B3 dot again deposit. B3 dot, let me call withdraw function, and B3 dot what? Again a rate of interest. That's it. So if you run the code, see the result. So everybody, the point is clear. What is happening? Yes. So basically interface and class, there is a relation of implements. But tomorrow, let's consider, can I design one more interface? Suppose tomorrow there is a one more bank available, right? And this is again defined by a government. So this bank and this bank, both are suppose interface. What should be the relation? What do you think? Whenever one interface is trying to communicate, that means obviously this is a interface which is not implemented yet. Hai? This is completely not a fully implemented class. So obviously one interface cannot implement, other method which is defined by other interface. Remember, suppose here I'm having one loan service. Let me take loan service. So I, as a Reserve Bank of India, I cannot implement that method. What I can do, I can just extend that method. Remember, so there is a three important part that you need to understand. Whenever there are both classes, class to class, relation will be extends. Remember, whenever both classes are there, relation will be extend. One interface, another will be class. So relation hoga implements. And if both are interface, what will be the relation? It will be extends again. Obviously, एक तो interface fully implemented नहीं है. So how one interface can implement other method? No, it's not possible. But where the change will occur? Whenever bank, this Reserve Bank of India is extending feature from bank, automatically this non-implemented method, who has to implement? Can I say it is a responsibility of a HDFC and Axis? Every child class has to implement, right? This bank particular method. Remember. So this time, let me create another interface. So one more interface I'm going to design. Just focus. Consider, I'm just going to write here some interface name. Okay, not class. Wait, not class. I want to create an interface now, right? So I will just right click, go to new, and then create an interface. Done. I will be designing here, let's say bank 2. This time I'm giving a name 2 because bank interface is already available. Let me just give this bank 2. Okay. And my interface is ready. Done. What I'm going to do this time? Yes, I will be declaring one abstract method. Consider public void, and I will be writing here some loan service. Okay. You can just write any name. Let me take a loan service. Yes. Done. So I'm just writing here loan service. Obviously, interface hai, so it will just have abstract method. See, you cannot maintain a body, right, in the interface. This time, I just want to make a relation for bank that one interface can extends, another interface. So I can just write bank 2. But what will happen if you go to the HDFC? Just observe. Immediately, HDFC, the Java says that every child class has to implement, right? So you are getting error in the HDFC because now HDFC has to implement which method? Whatever method is coming from bank 2, grandparent method also it has to implement. So let me implement it. See, I'm just going to add unimplemented method. And here I'm just going to add this loan service. Consider I'm writing here what? This time HDFC. These are the loan services provided by whom? Obviously HDFC. So let me just write loan services, right? But these are what? HDFC loan services. Remember. One more point. If you just consider currently bank having one more child, that is a Axis Bank. If you go to the Axis Bank, you will get an error here also because it will say, okay, fine, you just need to implement same method. So what I'm going to do, I will again implement the same method. And this time, if you observe here, you will get that service again. You can update it. That means it's the bank responsibility to update it, right? So I will just write, okay, fine, this is a Axis Bank, loan service method. Are you clear with the concept? What is happening? So every child class has to implement that method, right? And bank, it is an interface which is extending bank 2. And whatever, classes who has implemented bank, those classes has to implement bank 2 method also. So if you go to the test bank class, what will happen? See now the change. If you go for it here, like HDFC, this child class reference child class object, we can call all the method from parent, grandparent, and the child. So this time if I call HDFC, that means H1 dot. See which method we are looking for? This time loan service. Can you see? I can call loan service here. Is Axis Bank is able to call loan service? Obviously, yes. So if I write A1 dot again loan service, see Axis Bank can also loan service, right? And yes, can bank access that particular method? Obviously, yes. So this time if I'm calling, let's say B1 dot again loan service. Which loan service it will print? See, I'm creating object of child. I'm creating object of HDFC. Then you will get loan service from which class? HDFC class, right? Understand the concept. So see this. If you run the code, this time again you are getting, see the HDFC, first HDFC loan service, Axis Bank loan service, and see again you are getting HDFC because this is for scenario number 2. I have created object of child and reference of parent. Remember. So the point is clear. Yes or no? Right. Okay. So this is the main concept, guys, that you need to understand what is interface and how we can access all the method. Now, what we have learned, like interface is very helpful where you can implement, or where you can just, achieve multiple inheritance in Java. What is multiple inheritance in Java? Do you remember? Interface we can follow to achieve multiple inheritance in Java. So multiple inheritance means what? If there are, exactly, if there are two parents and from
one child.
Yes, if any one child want to access all the property, how we can access it, right? So using extend, generally what happen, when we achieve this scenario, if you try to achieve achieve this scenario in inheritance, it is not possible. At a time we can extend only one class, but with the help of interface, it is possible. Remember. So how come it is possible? So here, this both the parent you can declare as what? Interface, and the child class you can declare. So automatically child class can implement all the method from both parent. Remember. Okay, this is possible. So using implements keyword, it is possible. But to understand this relation, two parent, one child, I'm going to cover one beautiful example. So everybody just focus. Okay. Consider, I'm going to design one, like I'm going to just define a simple real-time scenario. It's like, suppose whenever you are facing any kind of issue, health related issue, right? We just go to hospital. Consider in India, like there is a noble hospital available. So I'm just going to provide some example, guys. Just focus. Now today, like we are having noble hospital in India. So obviously every hospital has to follow whose rule? Indian Medical Association, yes or no? So there is a Indian Medical Association. Every hospital in India, they has to follow this Indian Medical Association rule. So what I can do, Indian Medical Association says that, okay, you should have a particular facilities. Like every hospital should have some unique facilities, right? So all those services we can maintain in this particular class. So can I declare Indian Medical Association as an interface? And can I declare Noble Hospital as a child class? So every hospital has to implement whatever it's defined in that particular interface. But tomorrow just think, if Noble Hospital wants to open their branch in US, what will happen? All the US Medical Association rule, who is going to follow? Again, Noble Hospital, yes or no? So what do you think? Can I create in this way two parent, and can I access method in this child and see any patient? We can just create a test class. Like test class is nothing but consider our patient, right? Whenever any patient reach to the hospital, what is happening? Patient can access every method from that noble hospital. Are you getting my point? Right? So which part is hiding from user or that patient? That hospital is following whose rule? This complete part is hiding from that particular user. Yes or no? Are you
Yes.
getting my point? Chalo, let's quickly design this code. Everybody focus what exactly we are doing, right? Let me remove this bank example now and let me create a separate interface. I'm just designing a code, just focus. This is Indian Medical Association. I'm just giving a shortcut, okay? In this Indian Medical Association, I'm just, writing some methods which are common or every hospital has to follow. Example, some services which are common. So every hospital should have some kind of, the cardio service. Let me take some cardio service. Okay, so I'm just going to write here cardio. And obviously interface, so we can't create a body, right? We can just write an abstract method. Let me design one more. Suppose every hospital should have some kind of what we can say physio service. Okay, so let me just design some physio service also. Done. Now let me create a child class. That means I'm going to create here a noble hospital class. So everybody focus. I'm just writing here what noble HS. Let me write noble HS. And in this class, obviously this class is having its own method. So consider class is providing some medical service. Yeah, let's see, some medical service is available. Done. So I will just update a message. This is a method which is coming from Noble Hospital, right? This is a medical service. Done. But this time, as I told you, this hospital has to follow all the rule of Indian Medical Association. So which keyword? One interface, another is class. Which keyword?
Implements.
Very good. I am very good. This time it has to follow all the unimplemented method, right? It has to implement those because this time Noble Hospital is a child for Indian Medical Association. So just observe, I will be implementing all this method. And let me quickly update my method also. See, I'm just going to design here what? This is a Noble Hospital. Okay, one more time, Noble Hospital. And this is which service? It is a cardio service. Done. Then I'm going to just, update my next service also. So this time it is a physio service. Let me just update here. It is a physio service. Done. Okay. Now I'm going to create one test class. So let's say I'm going to create test HS class, that is test hospital class, right? Or you can just write test noble, that is also okay. Done. So this time, if I just create a main function, obviously I can just follow two rules. Either I can access everything from noble, or I can just access parent plus reference child class object. So if I just follow child class reference, that means noble hospital. Let's say, what is the name of class? I have given noble HS. Yes, let me follow the same. N1 is equal to new. Again, I'm writing the same. Suppose noble Yes, noble H is constructor. Done. And yes, we have to put semicolon at the end, right? And then using N1, please observe how many method you can access. You can access cardio service, N1 dot, you can access physio service, N1 dot, you can access medical service also, correct? If you run the code, you will get the result. So what scenario I have implemented? Child class reference, child class object, and I'm able to access everything from that class. So the concept is clear, everybody, right? But now let me show you one more concept. This time, suppose I can, if I create, the IMA, parent class reference, I1 is equal to new. Again, child class, child class object. So what will happen? We can access everything from what? Parent. But all the overridden method you will get. So I1 dot, I can access cardio service. I1 dot, I can access physio service. Can I access medical service from the child? See, I1 dot medical. Correct? This time also on mute. This time also, if you run the code, you will get the result. First point is clear, the interface and class relation. But now, let me design one more interface. Everybody focus. This is the point you need to understand, multiple inheritance. So I'm going to design one more interface. Let's say US Medical Association I'm designing, right? This time, this interface is also having some method. Let's say public, okay, public void, and let me just write suppose neuro service, okay, and yes, obviously semicolon. Then one more service, suppose US says that okay, fine, you should have some kind of what we can take. Chalo, let me take dental, simple dental service also, okay. So just understand the concept, okay. So I have just designed two services which is available in US Medical Association. So when we go for Noble Hospital, this time you just this hospital wants to implement US Medical Association methods also. In that case, what will happen, or services also, you can just write comma, and here you can write the name US Medical Association. Can you see it is possible from two parent you can access a property in one child, and what type of relation it is? This relation we can call multiple inheritance in Java. Remember, so multiple inheritance we can achieve with the help of interface. What the rule says? Here US Medical Association will be the parent for Noble Hospital. So Noble Hospital has to implement all the method which are coming from US Medical Association. So that means I just need to again apply, keep the mouse pointer here, and I can implement, all the method in this particular child class. Now just observe. Again, I'm getting here neuro services. Let me write a simple, messages. Suppose this is again coming from, or we are going to update it from the Noble Hospital. And this is just a neuro service. Everybody clear? And here, I'm just going to update for dental also. Let me update. So I will just say, okay, fine. This is also coming from Noble and it is a dental service. Done? Very simple. This time, what will happen? If you just update hierarchy, okay, let me save it. Okay, what we are getting, see. This time, okay, fine. It must be override and implemented by the super type method. Yeah, we have already did that. Why we are getting error here? Just a minute. Let me again update it. See. Right? Let me update it. So if you go to the test Noble, just focus. Again, this time this child can access all the property from both parent. So can I access method here? N1 dot, can I access cardio? Yes, I can access. See, N1 dot, okay, cardio name. N1 dot, let's say neuro service. Yes, I can access. N1 dot, I'm just going to access what? The second one, dental. Let me remove this cardio here. Yes, got it. So these two services I can call from US Medical Association. This time, if you run the code, see the result. Is it I'm able to access everything? Just observe. Yes, I can access everything from that parent. So are you clear? From two parent, we can access everything in one child. And this relation is called what? This relation is called what? Multiple inheritance in Java. Yes. This time, please focus. Here, can I access that dental service using Indian Medical Association? Can I access dental and neuro service? Tell me. In this scenario, can we access? Obviously not, because parent is Indian Medical Association. So how we can access US Medical Association method? Are you getting my point? So here, if you try, let's say I1 dot, let me just try dental. Can you see no D, like no method start with D? We don't have it. Basically, we can't access it. But if I create US Medical Association reference, let's say U1 is equal to new. And again, I'm writing what? That noble hospital object. What I can call this time? U1 dot what? I can call dental, obviously U1 dot neuro service. Both services I can call. So rule is same, guys. So if you run this code again, see the rule. You are getting same services which you can call from that parent reference and the child class object. So the point is clear. But tomorrow, let's see. Now just focus. What the scenario basically I have designed, just focus. One more time I'm designing. Here is my hospital, Noble Hospital. Okay, see. And it has to follow Indian Medical Association rule. So I have designed this as a parent for Noble Hospital. Noble Hospital, it is a class. Then we have designed US Medical Association also. This is also I have designed as an interface. And yes, this is a child class again. But if you clearly observe in real time, every medical association, that means every country, medical association has to follow one more rule. Rule of World Health Organization. Yes, WHO. So can I design one more parent interface? So this time, all the parent rule has to follow by every child interface. And if you implement this, what type of inheritance it is?
Hybrid.
Correct. This is the last type which we cannot implement directly in Java, but we can implement with what? Interface, remember. So hybrid interface or hybrid inheritance also we can achieve. So let me design that WHO interface now. See, one more time. What I'm going to do is, I will just design one interface. Okay, see, WHO. And in this interface, I will be writing a very, like during the pandemic, one because of the some difficult situation because of COVID-19. Now WHO says that every hospital should have this test. So let me design public void. Let's say I will be writing here COVID-19 test, right? Every hospital has to follow this rule. And this time, if I just go to Indian Medical Association, now tell me, IMA has to follow rule of what? WHO. That means interface to interface, what is the relation? Is one interface implement another interface? No. Then very good. There is a relation of extends. Extends of what? WHO. Now, if you go to the US Medical Association, it also has to what? Again, extends WHO. But if you go to the Noble Hospital, what will happen? See, this time you will get again an error. Got it? Why? Because now the child class, who is going to implement this COVID-19 test? It is a responsibility of a hospital only. So every child class has to implement all the unimplemented method of the interface. So this time if you go to this, see, it will ask you implement the method, right? Unimplemented COVID-19 test. And yes, we got the method. Now we can implement it. Very simple, correct? So here the method is implemented by Noble Hospital. Let me write properly. So Noble Hospital has implemented this COVID-19 test method. Done? Now what we can do? Go to the test class. In the test class, let's try. Child class reference, child class object. Can we call this COVID-19 test? Absolutely fine. Can you see? You can call here COVID-19 test. In this Indian Medical Association, this time, this is a parent who is, extending feature of WHO. So can we call method? What do you say?
Yes.
Yes. Basically, we can call this method here also. There is no problem at all. Okay. This parent also can call now. So UN dot what again? COVID-19 test. We are able to access everything, guys. And if you run it, see the result. Can you see you are getting Noble Hospital COVID-19, COVID-19, COVID-19 test. That's it. And this way, which interface we have achieved here? Hybrid hybrid inheritance also we have achieved here with the help of WHO interface. Tomorrow, if you create, reference of again WHO, what or how many method we can access? Tell me. Only one. Because this time my WHO says only one method. So obviously if I create WHO, W1, new, and obviously the child class, because same class का तो object create नहीं कर सकते, right now? So I will be writing here Noble Hospital object. This time with the W1 object reference variable, I can call only and only COVID-19 test. If you run the code, you will see the same result. I hope you guys are clear the concept of interface, how we can achieve multiple, inheritance in Java with the help of interface, hybrid inheritance in Java with the help of interface. The point is clear. What is interface? So I can say it is a special class where you can represent all the data which is by default static and final data. Method which are nothing but by default abstract method. And see, this is the rule. One class can extend another class, right? So basically these are the scenarios. So whenever child class reference child class object, you can call everything from child and the parent. Parent class reference child class object, you can call everything from parent, but you will get overridden method. And base class reference base class object is not possible because interface is also not considered as a fully implemented class. But if you want to achieve 100% abstraction, remember 100% abstraction agar achieve karna hai to interface we can follow. And this is a relation. One class can extend another class. One interface, obviously one class can implement interface. If both are interface, relation will be extend. This topic you need to understand. Yes, is this clear, everybody? What the topic we have covered so far? Yes, tell me. Points are clear? All the topics are clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So let me stop the session. That's all for the day. Thank you so much for attending the class.